on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, a property of Learfield Sports.
Touchdown, Alabama!
Live from Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, this is Hey Coach, presented by Alpha. For the best agents in the business, call Alpha. Hey Coach is brought to you by Golden Flake, the official chip of the Crimson Tide. Your Alabama Ford dealers. Alabama Saturdays, built Ford tough. Bud Light, the perfect beer when you're up for whatever. And by Coke Zero, real Coke taste, 0 calories. Here is your host, Tom Roberts.
Good evening, everybody. Roll Tide, and welcome to Hey Coach. Brought to you tonight by Alpha. We're live at Bob's Victory Grill. It's an open weekend for Alabama football, but a busy one for other Crimson Tide sports. The second-ranked football team, an open date after a huge 42-21 victory over the Florida Gators. Blake Sims, a record-setting day, and he's the Walter Camp National Player of the Week. Amari Cooper kept up his hot streak. He shared SEC Offensive Player of the Week honors. And we'll talk about both of those with Coach Nick Saban when he joins us in the Academy Sports and Outdoors Hotline in just 30 minutes from now. Bama Volleyball has now won 8 straight matches, including the SEC opener last night at Georgia. Crystal Rivers, the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Ed Allen, the head coach of the Crimson Tide, already on stage with us. We'll talk about volleyball in just a few moments. Bama soccer on the road this weekend at Tennessee and at Vanderbilt. Tide lost to 7th-ranked Florida, but beat Alabama State 8-0 last weekend. We'll hook up with Coach Todd Bramble on the Academy Sports Hotline. Alabama basketball getting ready for a new season. A really tough schedule ahead for the Bama team. Coach Anthony Grant's going to join us in about an hour to talk about his team. And Bama men's tennis hosting a huge tournament this weekend. Coach George Husak will be here a little later in the show to talk about his Crimson Tide and that tournament. And our host, Bob Baumhauer, is going to join us on the Academy Sports Hotline, talk about gumbo and some other great food events coming up real soon. So a lot to do over the course of the next 90 minutes. We're going to start with Bama Volleyball and Coach Ed Allen. Coming up next, this is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
Hey, Alabama fans, Academy Sports and Outdoors is the place to go when you need the gear to support your team. Academy is your one-stop shop for Crimson Tide jerseys, t-shirts, caps, novelty items, and more at everyday low prices. Be sure to visit your local Academy store or Academy.com to stock up on Crimson Tide gear for the season. Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
The right stuff, the low price, every day. Academy.
Once in a while, a player comes along and completely changes the game.
Unbelievable catch!
It's no different when it comes to a truck. A truck that doesn't just change the game, but dominates it. The 2014 Toyota Tundra. Now get 0% APR for 36 months on the new 2014 Toyota Tundra. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid September 3rd through September 30th, 2014. Zero down approved credit, monthly payment $41,000, finance is $27.78. Excludes tax tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. Cannot combine with other offers.
Hey, Alabama fans. Make every day feel like game day with the University of Alabama Visa check card from Regions. Regions helps you move life forward with checking account features like online banking with bill pay, mobile banking with Regions Mobile Deposit, and cashback rewards. Regions is a proud sponsor of your Alabama Crimson Tide and is the official bank of the SEC. Visit regions.com/GoBama for more information, or go to any Regions bank to order your University of Alabama check card today. Regions, member FDIC. Terms, conditions, and fees may apply.
Do game day right. With LG, it's all possible. LG home appliances are right in step with your busy world. The largest capacity washer in its class saves you up to 20 minutes per load, even on larger loads. LG's door-and-door refrigerators offer instant access to gotta-have snacks. And with LG Easy Clean, you've got a sparkling oven in minutes. Come check out the latest in LG innovations at your local Best Buy or online at bestbuy.com/LG.
Bud Light and NFL fans, this is the tale of Wayne Tupperhill, the man who spent the '97 season calculating the perfect Bud Light to ice to cooler size ratio, who once knocked over a priceless marble bust to save a falling Bud Light. But there are many legends like Wayne, and Bud Light's rewarding them with experiences like an ultimate NFL weekend. Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens.
Ultimate NFL experience open to U.S. residents 21 plus. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31/14. See upforwhatever.com for details. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
defended
That's
about.
right. Welcome back to Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, the Hey Coach, presented by Alpha. Joining us on stage, I guess you could call him the hottest coach on campus right now. His team has won 8 in a row. Ed Allen, Alabama volleyball. How you doing, Coach?
Great, Tom.
I mean, you got to be doing great.
Yeah.
You probably are going on, very little sleep after winning last night at Georgia, but you'll take that kind of trip, won't you?
No question. It beats going on very little sleep and losing, right?
Yeah, any day. Tell me about last night, because you said they had 2,500 fans at Stegeman Coliseum.
Yeah, they did. They were passing out any free giveaway they could to get them in there to root against Bama. So it was an exciting atmosphere.
It was an exciting atmosphere, but it didn't last too long, did it?
No, not. I think after the introductions, it stopped being exciting there.
After the first Crystal Rivers kill, it probably got real quiet, didn't it?
Well, she just, she went on fire. I think she was averaging 7.5 kills a set, which is astronomical numbers through the first 2 sets.
That is just amazing. And she was coming off a great, great week. Great enough that she was named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. I got to say this. Anybody, if you've never seen Crystal Rivers play, it's scary, number one, if you're on the other side of a net. But number two, she just dominates things, doesn't she?
She has a unique ability of controlling a match like very few players get an opportunity to do. And that was one of the reasons we wanted to move her into the right side position as opposed to the middle, is just to give her those opportunities. I mean, she's leading the SEC in service aces at the service line, and that's something that she's just learning how to do.
Did you teach her how to do the service aces?
Well, I'd like to take all the credit for her development, but most of that has more to do with her athletic ability than it does my wisdom.
Her ability is, she is truly an amazing player to watch, and one of those great players that you got to love to coach too.
Extremely coachable kid that transfers information incredibly quick. And so as a coach, that's pretty rewarding, right? Because you get a chance to see the impact that you can have with a kid like that.
Well, she was the MVP of the Crimson White Classic, which, by the way, you swept 3 in that one, including a win over a pretty good Clemson team, right?
Yeah, Clemson came in, I think, at 11-1 on the season, and we had a great match with them to conclude the tournament, and a San Diego State team that, as soon as they get healthy, are going to be pretty dangerous too.
Well, you had 2 others on the all-tournament team. One, you kind of expect Sierra Wilson. Could you ask for a better leader out on the court than Sierra?
No, she's done a great job of maturing as not only a leader but a competitor. And more than anything, the game's slowing down for her. She's able to process things and make the right decisions, I think, more frequently, and the kinds of things you expect a junior to do.
Well, and Brittany Thomas also on the all-tournament team. What kind of weekend did she have?
It's, you look at those 3 kids, and it's the usual suspects, right? I mean, all 3 All-Americans last year, and, she's a workhorse. I mean, a kid that just does everything for us, and we were just talking about that today in practice, that there's probably not another player on our team that has as many responsibilities that we have to depend on. Wow. And so, and for that to come from a kid who's just a sophomore, you think about her maturation over the next 2 years and what that's going to mean to our program.
It means great smiles on the face of the head coach. Yeah. Now, a couple of names last night that we've not heard that much in the past. Leah Lawrence, 5 blocks in the match at Georgia. She's coming on strong.
As we've talked a couple times, Tom, she's a blocking machine. She's going to own every blocking record at Alabama before her career's over, and having really a terrific freshman year. And we expect that kid, by the time December arrives, is going to be even a much different player than she is right now.
Well, that's the kind you build your program on. You start with a Crystal Rivers and a Brittany Thomas, then you come with Leah Lawrence. Now about Natalie Murison, 14 digs last night at Georgia.
Yeah. For a freshman kid to step in there and win the libero position like she has, and contribute in the way that she has. She just plays with such savvy, and of course, a lot of that has to do with where she played high school and club ball at, and the experiences that she's had there. So she's used to an extremely competitive environment, and it shows right now.
All right, let's talk about what's ahead, not what's behind, because you've won 8 matches in a row. You're now 13-2 on the season, but I imagine LSU is going to come in here Sunday and not be impressed at all, are they?
I don't think so. We don't really impress one another a whole lot. We like to beat the heck out of one another,
Yes.
So, Yeah, it should be a very talented. I mean, that's a team that has as much talent as anybody in the league, and two middles that are as talented as any middles in the league. So it'll be a good challenge for Leah and Bruna in that position.
You talk about, and some of these players we're talking about, you've got such a young volleyball team. That's got to be exciting to you to know how much growth there is going to be between now and December.
Yeah, we think so. I mean, as long as we can keep them focused, and the tough thing about being 13-2 is, you're getting some things satisfied, right? So sometimes young kids don't understand that it's not going to come automatically.
Yes. It's definitely not coming automatically, and you'll find out that out soon, because I would assume that after this weekend, you're going to go on the road a little more.
Yeah, we do. We've got a tough 2-week stretch, Tom. I mean, we play at home Sunday against LSU, and then we've got to hit the road against Kentucky and Tennessee and Texas A&M, and then come back home for that Sunday match, which is almost like a road match because you've been traveling the front end of the weekend. So, a really tough 2 weeks ahead of us.
Why in the world does the SEC decide to schedule that way, where you play it? I mean, it's always been in the past, it seemed, where you played 2 home matches Friday, Sunday, or 2 road matches Friday, Sunday. Is it just the quirk in the schedule?
Yeah, it is, and the imbalances of what it means to be in a big time league with multiple schools, and you only get a chance to play half of them twice and the other half just once, and that creates some imbalances there where you have some split weekends where you've got to travel on one end of it. We'd like to be able to play at home on Friday and then travel on Saturday, for the Sunday match. But both of those split weekends, we have the back end of that deal. So,
well, you're going to do okay anyway, and good luck this weekend against LSU. And congratulations again. 8 matches in a row is a significant winning streak.
Well, we appreciate that, and we've got a talented group of women that are continuing to work hard, and we'll see where this ends.
Well, I hope it doesn't end anytime soon.
Thanks
a lot, Ed Allen, head coach of the Alabama volleyball team, and you can keep up with the match Sunday online at rolltide.com. Here's a reminder, you can download the official Alabama Game Day app and get every digital football game day program free. It's easy, just search for Alabama Game Day from your app store and update for each game. Download now the official Alabama Game Day app presented by Adobe DPS, your best way to mobilize the Tide. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood, and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm 1 out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
To a single ember from a wildfire, the branches hanging over your roof look like big matchsticks, and the dry leaves and twigs in your gutter are perfect kindling. Some fire hazards aren't clearly marked and can impact your neighbors. Learn to spot them. Your home is better protected from wildfire when your whole community is prepared. Visit fireadapted.org for tips to get started. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Man, last night we put on an epic light show.
So epic.
The crowd loved us.
Wait, there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? Their eyes lit up brighter than ours, and we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
And we're gonna be out here rocking out our light show at a forest near you, so come check us out.
Check us out.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance. For the best agents in the business, call Alpha. Right now on the Academy Sports and Outdoors hotline, we're going to call Todd Bramble, head coach of the Alabama soccer team. Todd, how you doing?
Fantastic. We just rolled into Knoxville here, getting ready for the match tomorrow night.
I tell you what, there is nothing fantastic about rolling into Knoxville. I shouldn't say that. It's a beautiful city, and you got a tough match there tomorrow night. But let's talk about what happened last weekend. First of all, you played the 7th-ranked Florida Gators a pretty good match on Friday night, didn't you?
We did. We left extremely disappointed because our team executed the game plan perfectly. We completely controlled them from a defensive standpoint, created enough chances to score the game, had a goal call back. It was really unfortunate. So we scored 2 good goals in the game, but we defended 2 set plays really poorly on the night, and that ended up costing us. And, we're really disappointed with the result of that game, but we are optimistic about our performance.
Well, and then the good part about it for the weekend was that you bounced back from that. Obviously, Alabama State is not a great soccer team, but you beat them like that. You beat them 8-0 and got an awful lot of players some playing time, didn't you?
There were a couple important aspects from that game, and getting a lot of people to play in that game was important. So, that's this time of the year, getting players some rest and getting some players some experience is important. But I was happy that it came out with the focus that it wasn't going to be about winning the game. We felt confident that we could win the game, but we wanted to do it in convincing fashion and handle that situation really mature coming off a tough defeat on Friday night.
Well, it was a good way to continue the weekend, and now you're in the Volunteer state, and let's talk about the 2 matches. First of all, tomorrow night against Tennessee, what do the Volunteers have?
Well, they're a really good attacking team. They've got a player from New Zealand who's on the full national team from New Zealand. She'll be playing in the next World Cup, and she's their leading scorer. So we're going to have to do a really good job of trying to keep her off the scoreboard. But overall, I think from a standpoint, if we play like we did on Friday night in Florida, we will be well positioned to come out of this game with some points.
Did you bus your way to Knoxville, and I would assume then your bus all the way over to Nashville on Saturday?
Yeah, we left midday this afternoon, bussed over. We're about to have a nice meal now. We'll prepare for the game and stay Friday night, and then Saturday we'll make our way over. So it's not a difficult trip for us.
Well, you got Vanderbilt on Sunday evening, and it sounds like they've got a world beater and a freshman named Colby Chiraka.
Yeah, Colby is a player from New Jersey that's having a good freshman year for them right now. So they've got a couple good attacking players. They've got to play Auburn on Friday night, so they've got a tough patch while we're playing Tennessee here. So sometimes these Sunday games end up being survival of the fittest. But our team is really fit and really strong, and it's going to be a night game Sunday night, so we'll get a little bit of extra rest, and we will be ready.
Well, good deal. I wish you the best up there this weekend. And by the way, I shouldn't overlook the fact that Annalika Stein with the hat trick for you on Sunday night against Alabama State. I suppose that's the best game of her Bama career.
Yeah, we're real happy. She's a transfer from West Virginia, but she's Birmingham, Spain Park native. So for her to get the game, that was the first start for us, and she scored 3 goals in about the first 30 minutes. So that's, it doesn't matter if it's against Alabama State. If you're a forward and your job is to score goals, you gain confidence by seeing that ball hit the back of the net. So we hope she carries that over into this weekend.
I saw an interview with her, and she sounded like a very confident player. Well, let's hope she can get 3 or 4 this weekend. Todd, thanks for joining us on the phone, and safe travels. Good luck against the Vols and the Commodores.
Thanks for having me. Roll Tide.
Todd Bramble, head coach of the Alabama soccer team. You can keep up with the Tide tomorrow night at 6 o'clock against Tennessee, then Sunday night at 7 against Vanderbilt. Keep up with them at RollTide.com. Pays to be a Crimson Tide fan with Best Western of Alabama. Whether you're traveling for work or play, get up to 20% off rates and a chance to win a $100 travel card this fall. Visit bestwesternalabama.com/RollTide. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
4 years ago, the
national economy was draining hope from Alabama. Over 9% unemployment with no business growth.
There is never freedom for the breadwinner who is dependent on the government.
Governor Bentley focused on creating jobs.
We will put Alabama back to work.
Airbus has announced the opening of a new assembly plant.
Remington is announcing plans to open a large new plant in Alabama.
This is becoming standard fare, another major company announcing a move to Alabama.
Since Governor Bentley first took office, 40,000 jobs have been created. 60,000 more jobs are on their way. Unemployment is down over 20%, and the Business Confidence and Hiring Index is the highest since 2006. But the real credit goes to the hard-working men and women of Alabama.
When Alabama is at full employment, it will mean that along with a job, we have restored hope and purpose to thousands of fellow citizens.
Governor Bentley, working for Alabama. Paid for by Bentley for Governor, P.O. Box 5047, Montgomery, Alabama 36103.
Think it's only a game? You win some, lose some. Just give the old college try. Not around here. Because in Tuscaloosa, winning on the field and the work site isn't everything. It's the only thing. Alabama and the 2014 Ford F-150. This team, this truck will make a believer out of you. For great offers on a new F-150, go to shopfordnow.com or see your local Ford dealer today.
Nothing means it's game day like ice cold Coke Zero, because zero means it's game day.
What about when...
No.
But you don't even know what I was going to say.
Were you going to say zero means it's game day, so therefore nothing means it's game day like Coke Zero?
No, but...
Then it doesn't matter, does it? The refreshing taste of Coke Zero. Zero means it's game day.
Hey, this is Coach Nick Saban. Like you, Coke Zero is a proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. So when you're enjoying the game this season, feel free to crack open a Coke Zero and enjoy that too. Roll Tide.
You're listening to Guy Talk live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
Use SportClips.com. It's actually Guy approved. At Sport Clips, you'll get an awesome MVP haircut experience while watching sports on TV. Your head'll glow like a freshly mowed Major League outfield. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
You're back at Bob's Victory Grill and on Hey Coach, presented by Alpha. It's time to look at our Cooper Tire Performance of the Week, presented by Cooper Tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Visit CooperTire.com to find your local Cooper Tire dealer. And the Performance of the Week, definitely Blake Sims. 445 yards passing against the Florida Gators, 39 more on the ground. The passing, the second best in Alabama history, but the total performance, 484 yards, the best offensive day ever by a Crimson Tide player. So congratulations to Blake Sims. Also to Amari Cooper, 10 catches, 201 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Both of those gentlemen received national and SEC attention. Blake was named the Walter Camp National Player of the Week, and Amari shared the SEC Offensive Player of the Week honors. The coach's other selections, by the way, Derrick Henry, Ari Kwanjo, and Blake Sims on offense, Landon Collins, Trey DePriest, and Jared Reed on defense. Reuben Foster and our Darius Stewart made the special teams list. Time now for Crimson Tide Tailgate Tradition, brought to you by Red Baron Pizza. Champions a definite tradition on the Alabama campus, and a relatively new one is the Sarah Patterson Champions Plaza. Well, last Friday afternoon, we were there to honor a bunch more champions, including the national and SEC champion men's golf team, the SEC champs in gymnastics, softball, and women's tennis. And a very nice honor. The A Club has in the past established endowed scholarships for Coach Mel Moore and for Sarah Patterson. Well, last Friday, Jerry Duncan, the president of the A Club there, to announce that the club had endowed scholarships for 3 other national championship coaches in Jay Sewell, Mick Potter, and Patrick Murphy. So our congratulations to them. This Crimson Tide Tailgate Tradition brought to you by Red Baron Pizza. Visit tailgateatyourplace.com for great game day ideas and enter for a chance to win $150,000 in prizes from Red Baron. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
Before you get in, get going, get gone, you need to get a tire that gets you. We suggest a Cooper tire. After all, Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real-life performance. Because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. Visit a participating Cooper Tire retailer or CooperTireRebates.com for reward forms and official terms and conditions.
Tide fans, make University Mall part of your football weekend game plan. Avoid the campus traffic. Take the Tuscaloosa Charter Tide Ride from University Mall to Bryant-Denny and back for just $10. While you're here, enjoy great shopping, dining, the area's best selection of Bama fan gear, and special Crimson weekend savings. We're West Alabama's in-place to shop for over 30 years. That's University Mall. Roll Tide.
Once in a while, a player comes along and completely changes the game.
Unbelievable catch!
It's no different when it comes to a truck. A truck that doesn't just change the game, but dominates it. The 2014 Toyota Tundra. Now get 0% APR for 36 months on the new 2014 Toyota Tundra. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid September 3rd through September 30th, 2014. Zero down approved credit, monthly payment $41,000, finance is $27.78. Excludes tax tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. Cannot combine with other offers.
Hey, Tide fans, when you're getting ready for this week's game, stock up on Golden Flake. Pick up your favorite bag of Golden Flake potato chips, Tostados, or cheese puffs, and you'll be ready to tailgate like a true Tide fan. Golden Flake, the favorite chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
The best choice you can make is a big bag of Golden Flake.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance. For the best agents in the business, call Alpha. For the most scholar athletes on campus, I guess you could call Pat Murphy. Today, 11 members of last year's softball team were named NFCA All-American Scholar Athletes for their outstanding efforts in the classroom. They had to earn at least a 3.5 or better GPA. And named Scholar Athlete All-Americans were Chauncey Bell, Chandler Dare, Molly Fickner, Andrea Hawkins, Danae Hayes, Ryan Iamuri, Sydney Littlejohn, Haley McClinney, Jordan Patterson, Danielle Richard, and Jaden Spencer. That's pretty remarkable. 11 players in all as a team. Alabama ranked 15th nationally with a team GPA of 3.5. Not bad. Murph, congratulations to you and to your players. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Week brought to you by Alabama 811, reminding you to be safe. Always call 811 before you dig. It's free. It's the law. Call 811. Utility companies will come out to locate and mark buried lines. By the way, we're here at Bob's Victory Grill. The state-of-the-art digital table we're sitting behind is provided by Booster Digital Displays. Digital products that enhance and raise money for high schools and colleges across the country. Visit our website at www.boosterdisplays.com. Coach Nick Saban joins us by phone next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Live from Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, this is the Nick Saban Show. Presented by Alpha. For the best agents in the business, call Alpha. Also brought to you by Golden Flake, the official chip of the Crimson Tide. Your Alabama Ford dealers. Alabama Saturdays. Built Ford tough. Bud Light, the perfect beer when you're up for whatever. And by Coke Zero. Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Now, with Coach Nick Saban, here's Tom Roberts.
Thank you very much. And Coach Saban will be joining us very shortly on the Academy Sports and Outdoors Hotline. Crimson Tide just finishing the third of its 4 practices this week. Of course, going into an open week. And the Tide coming off the one of the greatest offensive games in school history, 672 yards against the Florida Gators last Saturday. That means in 4 games, Bama has amassed 2,377 yards, an average of almost 600 yards a game. And that deserves the applause we're hearing here at Bob's Victory Grill. And joining us on the Academy Sports and Outdoors Hotline, Coach Nick Saban. Coach, how you doing on this Thursday evening?
Doing good, man. We're just working here in the office trying to get ready for Ole Miss.
Trying to get ready for Ole Miss. Let's talk about Florida first of all. That game just amazed me because of so many things, but certainly Blake Sims, best offensive day ever by a Bama player, 484 yards. And, Coach, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg from him, aren't we?
Well, I think the focus needs to be that we really need to improve. As a coach, I hear you talking about all the yards we made and all that, but, I look at the turnovers that we have and the points that we gave up off of turnovers, and we had 9 penalties on offense. 7 of them were administrative-type penalties, false starts, wrong formations. That probably cost us 100 yards because several explosive plays got called back because of that.
Yep.
And we had a penalty, second one at the 1. Illegal motion. Messed up the cadence. So these kinds of things are the kinds of things that drive you crazy as a coach because you worry about the day will you be able to always overcome these things.
Yeah.
Where these are things that you can eliminate very easily yourself just with better discipline and better administration by, the signal callers and all that type of stuff. So, I'm happy with the way we're playing offense. I'm glad about the yards, the explosive plays, the points that we're scoring. But I also know that playing on the road, those kind of things even get more difficult to execute. So that's a real big point of emphasis for us this week is to take better care of the ball, get more turnovers on defense, and eliminate these sort of, I call them discipline-type penalties.
Well, does that mean that the practices you're having this week, you've kind of gone back to fundamentals with the team, Coach?
Well, we did it for 2 days. We did it Tuesday and Wednesday, and today we started, doing some things on the next opponent, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow. So, we kind of do a little bit of both, but I think that if you're really going to be a good team playing in a really good league like we play in, you really have to improve as a team because I know there's a lot of good teams in our division and there's a lot of good teams in the country, but the ones that actually improve and continue to improve throughout the season are going to have the best chance to be successful on a consistent basis.
The improvement you talk about, it seemed to me that your defense has improved every game. Am I correct or incorrect in that? Because it seemed like they played a very good game last Saturday.
I think that's true. I think we really have improved. I think there were some inexperienced guys out there. We didn't play with a lot of confidence early in the year, and as players have played more, I think they've gotten more comfortable with their knowledge and experience, and we've played better together. We've communicated better. We've cut down on and eliminated a lot of mental errors, which has cut down some of the explosive plays that we've given up, and so we have improved.
You mentioned the young players. How big was it to get them the type of experience they had Saturday afternoon against the Gators as you go forward?
Well, I think it's been really important all year long that we've had an opportunity to play a lot of players. And some of the young players that we have are certainly guys that can contribute, like Tony Brown. You know, Eddie couldn't play in the last game, but Tony Brown had played probably almost a half of 2 games, which really helped his ability to go in this game and feel a little bit more confident and have a better chance to play better. So those are the types of things that hopefully is going to help us long term and help the depth of our team, both sides of the ball, so that we can continue to get more players involved, but also not have a drop-off when we have somebody that's not available to play.
Well, one other thing about defense. Lane Kiffin deservedly has gotten a lot of headlines, a lot of play, a lot of talk, and you've been very praising of Lane's job on the offensive side. But Kirby Smart's doing a great job on defense, isn't he?
Well, I think our entire coaching staff is doing a really, really good job. I mean, you know, Lane gets a lot of the credit. He's the coordinator. He's a good play caller, and he's done a good job of coaching and teaching our players. But I think the other coaches have done a really good job on offense as well, and I think Kirby does a fantastic job with our players. But, you know, I also think our entire staff has really worked hard to try to help each position to improve, and that's probably contributed to us being able to get a little better.
Did the work on Ole Miss, I think you said you've already kind of looked at them, and does the real work start on Monday as you would ordinarily in a game week?
Well, we usually try to get an extra day in, you know, on a team, and you know, we on Tuesday and Wednesday we looked at some future opponents that we're going to play and some of the things they do differently, and spend a little time on exposing players to some of those things. And you know, today we exposed them to a little bit of what Ole Miss does, and tomorrow we'll actually work on Ole Miss.
They're the real deal. They're number 10 in the country, and I would assume you've seen a lot of tape already. They are very, very good, aren't they?
Well, they're really, you know, are a good team. They play really well on defense, and they've got their quarterback back for the 3rd year, and he's played very well for them, you know, throughout the season so far. And the offensive line is better than a year ago. I think their skilled players are better, and they're a very good team. They can run it and throw it. And, you know, they're very quick on defense, which a lot of stunts and lots of movements, which has given us some problems when we played them in the past. So this is a real challenge for us.
All right, one final question for you, Coach, today. Ari Kwanjo named the semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy that's given to the best scholar athlete in the country. Ari is one of those great character persons that you like to have in the program, isn't he?
I don't think there's any question about that. He's played a lot of good football around here, but we don't have many people that are any better than he is. I mean, he's a really good leader. He's a hard worker. Sets a great example off the field in terms of just representing the university, the program, himself and his family in a first-class way.
Well, congratulations to him. As we said, a semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy. The players get, I guess, Saturday and Sunday off. No rest for the head coach and his staff?
Well, I'll give all the coaches off on Saturday. So I think they need a little break, too. We got some guys going recruiting tomorrow, but we're still going to stay here and practice with skeleton crew.
Well, all right, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday here at Bob's Victory Grill.
All right, well, thank you, Tom, and I miss everybody there. Y'all have a good night. Thanks.
I think they are having a good night for sure. They always do here at Bob's Victory Grill. Thanks to head coach Nick Saban, head coach of the second-ranked and undefeated Crimson Tide. And by the way, Bama at Ole Miss next Saturday, 11:30. The airtime, a 2:30 kickoff on CBS for the Crimson Tide and the Ole Miss Rebels. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk to a guy who knows a little bit about playing defense and also running restaurants. Bob Baumhauer joins us on the Academy Sports and Outdoors Hotline next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
Toyota Materials Handling of Alabama is the authorized dealer for Toyota forklifts, the world's #1 forklift manufacturer right here in the USA. Toyota Materials Handling has short and long-term rentals available ranging from 3 to 36,000 pounds, and they provide parts and service for any model forklift. Ask Toyota Materials Handling about their no hidden fees guarantee and service loaner program. Call Toyota Materials Handling of Alabama today and speak with their consultants. Call toll-free 866-957-2250 or go online to toyotamaterials.com.
As your Alpha Insurance agent, I can help you customize a plan that'll save you money while still protecting your family.
Saving $10, $15, $20 a month makes a big difference for families.
We're able to give you a better product for a better price with better service.
I try to give the customers the kind of service that I want myself.
And that has value. You can't get that online.
We have a great product, a great claim service, and it's a real value buy.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
Excuse me, sir. What's the best day of your life?
My wedding day.
Where would you rank going to the November 29th Alabama-Auburn game?
Whoa, are you serious?
Yeah, you and a guest would get 2 game tickets, VIP hospitality, pre-game sideline passes, and more, courtesy of your local Ford dealer.
Best day ever!
Just go to AlabamaSaturdays.com and enter the Rammer Jammer fan experience.
Oh, I hope my wife wasn't listening.
Must be 18 years or older with a valid Alabama driver's license to enter. For details and complete rules, visit AlabamaSaturdays.com. Ready for this week's game? We're talking the rumbling roar of Big Al and another epic Roll Tide. But we're also talking great pizza. As a proud sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Red Baron Pizza is kicking off your game day at tailgateatyourplace.com. Score big with awesome party ideas, winning recipes, and impressive school trivia. Plus, a chance to win over $150,000 in prizes. Red Baron, better crust, better pizza. Roll Tide.
Vogler, the tight end, in motion to the left. Here's Sims to throw. With protection, wide open, right side. It is caught by Alabama's Kenyon Drake at the 40. He beats everybody down the right sideline. He's going to go 87 yards. Touchdown, Alabama, on the first offensive snap for the Crimson Tide today. Dangle.
What a great way to start a football game offensively. That's what the Crimson Tide did last Saturday. First touchdown on a 42-21 defeat of the Florida Gators. Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance with Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. And joining us on the Academy Sports and Outdoors Hotline, a guy who just happens to run Bob's Victory Grill and a bunch of other fine restaurants in the state. Bob Baumhauer, how in the world are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Well, I would think you watched the game last Saturday. Were you as thrilled as we were to see Bama throw the long ball and connect on 2 different occasions?
Oh yeah. And you know, it's games don't always go according to the script, and that one sure didn't in the first half. But Alabama showed a lot of character, and especially Mr. Sims there, who just had the game of all games. It was just a lot of fun to watch them come back and get things going in the second half and get it done.
Well, you're a defensive guy, and to me, some of the great plays we saw on defense, Landon Collins, for instance, to me, he may be as good a defensive player as we've had around here in a very long time. What's your opinion?
Well, I agree with you 100%. And you know, folks ask me from time to time, what are my thoughts? And obviously, a lot of young folks on that defense. And you know, Coach Bryant used to talk about that you expect some surprises on teams that become great teams, and we're seeing some folks step up. Obviously, Trey is settling in, and we expected him to do well. But you know, young players like you're talking about, Ryan Anderson, you know, from down here in the Daphne area. some other guys are really starting to show some sparks there. And then defensive line-wise, Tom, I got to tell you that I think they're getting better. I think you're going to see some more contributions from a defensive line that I think is getting better game by game.
I knew you wanted to talk about those big guys up front because they've been great. Would you have hated to play against these no-huddle, up-tempo offenses like our guys are having to do today?
I will tell you that I would not have enjoyed that. And, I heard y'all talking to Joe. Joe would love, he's a 2-minute quarterback guy. He loves that, quarterbacks love that. But a defensive lineman especially, that hurry-up offense that'll wear you out. And I can see it. I can see it in those guys sometimes when those hands hit the hips and hit the knees. And Kirby Smart and obviously Coach Saban being a defensive-minded guy, Alabama's got answers for it.
Well, I would also think that as a defensive kind of guy, you wouldn't want to go against this Alabama offense either, would you, Bob? I mean, it's got so many weapons, and Lane Kiffin's doing such a great job of using them all.
I agree, 100%. Whether it was Blake reading that first play and putting the ball deep like he did, or whether it's Yeldon being able to do the things that he does, Amari Cooper, and then I got to tell you, I'm a huge Blake Sims fan, Tom. I think he's done a super job, and everybody seems to play hard for him. The players seem to respect him, and I think that he's doing a great job for us.
That's one thing I was going to ask you about him is that, to me, every great team has great leaders. And to me, Blake obviously is making the plays offensively. But it's very obvious that if you look down on the sidelines, the rest of the team has a lot of confidence in Blake Sims, and he inspires everybody to play better.
I agree 100%. And then, you saw what kind of guy he was when he got hurt. Yep. And he goes in and he comes back out, and you could tell that it was bothering him. And you get those stingers, and those things hurt. And he wanted to be back out on that field. He got back out on that field, and that's just good to see in a quarterback, any player, seeing somebody that really wants to be out on the field and be what he is to his team. And Blake is developing into a leader of this fine young team that we're all watching develop in front of our eyes.
Well, all right, let's talk about something else that I consider you an expert on, good food, and let's start with gumbo. Big gumbo festival coming up there, a week from Saturday?
Yeah, and it is. And, a couple of years ago, we had what we called the Gumbo Bowl, where we challenged Louisiana to a little cook-off right there in Tuscaloosa. It was a tornado relief function, and it turned into this LA Gumbo Festival, Tom, and it's next Saturday, and we're inviting anybody that wants to come by. We'll have the game on. We'll have a lot of games on, but it'll be a lot of fun. It's a gumbo festival with all kinds of arts and crafts, famous chefs. John Folse will be there, Marty Duncan from the Food Network, my old teammate, who's an LSU guy, Tom, A.J. Due's coming up from Miami.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have a bunch of celebrities from sports and from culinary, and it'll be at the Wharf down there in Orange Beach, and we'll have a good time. And it is benefiting Christian Life Food Bank, which is in Orange Beach, and Habitat for Humanity. So it's for a good cause, a lot of fun, and we'll have a whole lot of tailgating going on. That's next Saturday at the Wharf all day on October 4th. I appreciate you asking me about that.
Well, I know it's going to be fun. And what is this about, a monster TV screen you're going to have outside the restaurants?
Yeah, it's one of those TVs that you can see during the day, one of those outside big screen, high-definition TVs. And then, we've got the 3 restaurants down there. We'll have 70, 80 TVs showing all the different games that are going on that day. And there'll be all kinds of fun stuff going on. I mean, tailgating, and like I said, arts and crafts, cornhole tournaments going on. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right, let's talk about the actual competition for the best gumbo in the state. Will you have teams? Will you have individuals? How would somebody go about entering the competition?
Well, you can go to gumboforlife.com or you can go to bombhowers.com, and you'll see an icon on either one of those sites that you can click on. And it's anybody. It can be your grandma, it can be you, or it can be a restaurant. And, you know, it's been our experience the last couple of years that mom and pops do just as good or the best job with gumbo as restaurants do. So it'll be everybody against everybody, and it should be a lot of fun.
And a $1,000 cash prize to the winner of the contest. And what's this about a couple of Iron Bowl tickets you're going to give away?
Yeah, we'll be registering for Iron Bowl tickets, and then the winners of this, and this is something that'll be coming up later, will be qualifying for the Iron Bowl Tailgate Challenge, which is going to be something we're doing down the road. But the Iron Bowl tickets will be available for those who come and register, and we'll be doing a drawing at the end of the festival.
And obviously, those folks who are planning to be at Orange Beach on October the 4th, well, wear your school colors, right? You want to know who's the Bama fans in the crowd.
Yeah. And there's obviously there's going to be a lot of good games on that day. So we want everybody to wear their school colors. And it's going to have a tailgate flavor to it. It's going to be outside, like you said, we're going to have a bunch of TVs going on, including that big Megatron, whatever the heck they call that thing. And we're hoping for a good turnout. And obviously, with all that gumbo being cooked, there'll be some good meals to be served up to everybody.
I started to say, I mean, what are they going to do with that gumbo other than serve it to everybody who's there? If you want a bowl of gumbo, you can get it?
Yeah. If you come to the Gumbo Festival, you'll be able to buy a couple tickets. The tickets are, I think, $2 a piece, Tom, and you buy as many as you want, and you can taste any of the participants, any of the competitors' gumbo that you want to. Each one of them will be cooking off 5 gallons of gumbo. It's all Alabama seafood as well. Most of the seafood is coming out of either Bon Secours, Bayou La Battery, Mobile Bay. All of it's Alabama seafood. And anybody that comes to the festival will be able to try some of these competitors' gumbo and see what they think.
My wife, Martha, had a bowl of your gumbo tonight. She says it's great. Are you not eligible for the Gumbo Festival championship?
No, I'm not. But I'll be there. I'll be cooking up. The team there'll be a bunch of folks from Wind Creek, who, is our title sponsor. But we will be having a good time watching. I won't be participating, but we'll be there watching.
All right, you mentioned it. A little bit more about the Iron Bowl Tailgate Challenge. You've got the Alabama part of it coming up, next weekend for the Gumbo Festival, right?
Yeah. The folks that are there will qualify. And then the Iron Bowl Tailgate Challenge, Tom, that's something. This is the inaugural year, and it's going to be Alabama versus Auburn. Kind of like a Food Network type competition that's going to be at the Iron Bowl, and this year it'll be in Tuscaloosa. Next year it'll be in Auburn, and this is the first year for it, and we're excited about it. I think both schools seem to be excited about it. We've got a lot of folks that are already trying to get positions to be able to compete in it, so it should be a lot of fun. It's a natural for the Iron Bowl. Have a little bit of a tailgate competition going on there.
I think it's more than a natural. And here in Tuscaloosa, you're going to be competing Thursday, October the 16th, while we're here doing Hey Coach, right?
Right, yes, sir.
And over at Auburn, you've got the Auburn show also at Bob's Victory Grill. That's going to be on November 29th. Well, Bob, I appreciate you joining us tonight. I wish you had been here. We love the hospitality Neil and the gang offers here at Bob's Victory Grill. You got a great place here, Bob.
Thanks. And I got to tell you, I was there last week, and I'm watching Coach Saban. He seems to be having a really good time, and Mrs. Saban, and then obviously Mr. Roberts is the best as far as a host. And it's an honor for us. It's good to have Hey Coach in the house, Tom. I got to tell you.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Well, Bob, I appreciate you joining us tonight. And have a good time next weekend for the Gumbo Festival. Don't eat too much of it, okay?
No, we won't. We won't. Thanks, Tom. It's good
Bob
talking with you.
Baumhauer.
Thanks for having me on.
Bob Baumhauer, the head coach, the guy who owns Bob's Victory Grill, as well as the Complete Angler. Baumhauer's, all kinds of great restaurants here in Tuscaloosa, down at Orange Beach, and all over the state of Alabama. Quick reminder that Tide TV is your all-access home for Crimson Tide sports. You can see Coach Saban's press conferences live, get exclusive one-on-one player interviews, plus game highlights, football flashbacks, and more. And outside the state of Alabama, it's the only place you can watch the Nick Saban TV show and Hey Coach. You can hear all of our radio broadcast as well on Tide TV. It's just $9.95 a month. Log on to rolltide.com/Tide TV to get your all-access pass to the Crimson Tide. And you can also, at rolltide.com, stay up to date on Crimson Tide football all season long as a part of their Game Day Central. Takes you to the practice field with exclusive all-access features, Coach Saban's news conferences, game highlights, and much, much more. Follow the Tide all season long at rolltide.com/gameday. And we're coming into the basketball season. Coach Anthony Grant's going to join us shortly here at Bob's Victory Grill. But now's the time for you to go ahead and get those basketball tickets, both men and women. You can go to rolltide.com and get all the information. You can also print off individual game tickets on rolltide.com for both the men and the women. Go by the ticket office, give them a call at 348-BAMA, 348-BAMA, and find out about buying a season ticket for Bama men's and women's basketball. Women's tickets are on sale right now. They start at just $25. Get them by calling 348-BAMA or visiting rolltide.com. Well, we've got, as we said, Coach Anthony Grant joining us next, and then George Husak, the coach of the Alabama men's tennis team, will be here at the end of this hour. Talk about a big tennis tournament coming up this weekend here in Tuscaloosa. We'll chat with the head coach of the Alabama basketball team coming up next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
The tide will be rolling soon, but if you haven't gotten your Bama Banking Visa check card, you're not really ready for kickoff. Bama Banking, exclusively from BBVA Compass, is the perfect way to show your pride in the Tide. Call 1-800-COMPASS or go online at bbvacompass.com/Bama. Bama builds champions. At BBVA Compass, you can be a champion too by sporting one of our limited edition Bama Banking check cards. Sign up for Bama Banking and show your pride every time you use your check card. Call 1-800-COMPASS or go online at bbvacompass.com/Bama.
Looking for the ultimate tire for your performance luxury touring vehicle? Look no further than the new Ventus S1 Noble 2 from Hankook Tire. Packed with the latest design and compounding elements focused on maximizing efficient water evacuation, providing impressive wet handling and braking, increasing cornering grip, and improving winter condition traction. The Ventus S1 Noble 2 is the ideal balance of all-season and ultra-high performance. To see more of the Ventus S1 Noble 2, visit A&A Sales in Huntsville. Be one with it. Hankook Tires.
That splashing you hear? That's Cletus. He makes a living towing steamboats up and down the Mississippi. Not with a boat, but with his brawn. Smith & Forge Hard Cider is a lot like Cletus here. Strong, sturdy, but not too sweet. Cletus, put down that lighthouse.
Built from apples, built to refresh. Smith & Forge Hard Cider, made strong. Now available in draft, so saddle up to your favorite tavern and enjoy a tankard. Uncharted Cider Company, Memphis, Tennessee. Please enjoy our ciders responsibly.
Do game day right. With LG, it's all possible. LG home appliances are right in step with your busy world. The largest capacity washer in its class saves you up to 20 minutes per load, even on larger loads. LG's door-and-door refrigerators offer instant access to gotta-have snacks. And with LG Easy Clean, you've got a sparkling oven in minutes. Come check out the latest in LG innovations at your local Best Buy or online at bestbuy.com/LG.
Welcome back to Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. The Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance. Do game day right with the latest innovations from LG. From the kitchen to the living room, LG has you covered. Come check out the latest in LG innovations at your local Best Buy or online at bestbuy.com/LG. It's all possible with LG. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Back at Bob's Victory Grill, let's talk with the head coach of the Alabama basketball team, Anthony Grant. Coach, how in the world are you doing?
Tom, I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Well, I understand that airline travel these days is, subject to mess-ups, right?
A little interesting day yesterday, to say the least, but we made it out. Everything worked out okay. Got back in town there this morning, so appreciate it.
All right, right now, your basketball team, are you guys actually working out?
We are. You know, this time of year, we're in the not out of season, I guess, portion of our practice schedule. So we get 2 hours a week that we can work with them on the court. We get a total of 8 hours, so they're in the dog days of preseason conditioning and a lot of weightlifting. So actually next week, we're able to actually start practice and get on the court with them and be able to use more of our time for strictly basketball stuff.
So next week is the beginning of, 20 hours a week, the normal practice routine?
That's correct. That's correct. The way it works is the NCAA allows, I think it's 42 or 45 days before your first game, you can begin practice. And then you get, I think, 30 days to use of those 42 or 45 days at your discretion. So it works out pretty good.
It works out very, very well. I know you're thrilled to get back out there again because, let's face it, none of us thoroughly enjoyed last season at all. We wanted better. You wanted better. What do you see from your team right now that makes you think it's going to be better?
Well, I think this is a new team, and obviously, we were disappointed with the results we got last year. But the thing I was impressed with our guys, Tom, was that they continued to battle. They continued to fight. They stayed together, through everything that we went through. And I think this group, so far, I've been really impressed with the way they've approached everything that we've done from the time from summer school, the time they stepped on campus in the summer, the way the new guys, have come in and approached everything with a great attitude, with a great work ethic, with humility and wanting to learn from the veteran guys, and the way the veteran guys have been able to help acclimate those guys and show them the pace that we need to work at in the weight room and the way that we need to approach what we're doing and the focus that you got to have in order to get better. So I've been really impressed with that. We've had about 4 weeks of preseason conditioning and just the enthusiasm, their attitudes, the way they've approached the things that we've asked them as coaches to do. I've been really impressed with it. So really looking forward to getting started.
Well, and looking forward to getting started, let's talk about some of the guys. First of all, how in the world do you replace a Trevor Relaford? And yet I know you have to find somebody to put out there at the point.
Yeah, Trevor was a mainstay for us for 4 years. He's a guy that walked on campus as a freshman and was able to take over the reins of our starting point guard and did it for 4 years. 4 years all-conference player. So, that's those are some big shoes to fill. But, I feel like the guys that we have in place, one guy that I think a lot of our fans are familiar with or have heard a lot about, haven't seen play yet, is Ricky Tarrant. Ricky had a chance last year sitting out because of transfer rules to go against Trevor every day. And I think that helped Trevor get better and helped Ricky get better and understand our terminology, our system right off the bat. And then you look at, Retin Obasahan's a guy that, had off-season ankle surgery and is in the process of getting himself back healthy. But he's a guy that gives you some versatility. And then Justin Coleman from Winona High School up in Birmingham, I think, comes in. And, he's a guy that's a true point guard that I think by his very nature is a guy that makes everybody around him better. Just with the way that he plays the game. So I think we've got some options. And the thing I like about our guys, Thomas, we got a lot of guys that are versatile. There's a lot of different combinations that we can put on the floor with different guys, and a guy like, you could go in with, a guy like Ricky and Justin on the floor together. You got some guys, a guy with Levi's size and skill, he can play, multiple positions from the 1 through the 3 for you. So I think we've got some really versatile pieces on our team, and hopefully it'll pay dividends for us.
To me, that's you look at it in the days of a traditional big man in the middle, the power forward and everything else, and a point guard and an off guard. Those days are gone, aren't they? I mean, it seems like everybody is doing what you're talking about. Very, very versatile.
Well, it does appear that way. I think you look at the college game, you look at the pro game, and you see guys that can do a variety of things. That are multifaceted guys in terms of being able to either play in and out if they're post guys, or guys that have size that are extremely skilled, or guys that maybe on the perimeter that are adept at getting to the rim and either posting or finishing at the rim. So we try to take advantage of that in our style of play, not only from an offensive standpoint, but also from a defensive standpoint.
You mentioned Renton. How is he doing after the surgery?
Yeah, he's getting better. You know, he's still not in a position to go 100%. He's still not at the point where he's taking contact, but he is, I think, progressing week to week. He's gaining confidence and strength and mobility with that ankle. So it's just a matter of him making sure that he doesn't try to do too much too soon, and that we as coaches make sure that we're the same way in terms of making sure that we take it one step at a time and listen to what our medical staff tells us we need to do with him and get him back when he's ready to get back.
I want to talk about another couple of guys that are returning. First of all, Levi Randolph, is he the leader of this basketball team this year?
You know, really proud of Levi. Levi graduated this past summer, with his degree in business, and he's going to get his master's degree. So for him to graduate in 3 years and as a fourth-year senior, be in position to get a master's degree, really proud of him. Levi's always been one of the hardest workers that you'll ever want to be around. And I think if you look at him from a physical standpoint, you'll notice a big difference in him. And I think he's prepared mentally and physically to go out and have an outstanding senior year. And I think he's committed to wanting to be that leader and wanting to be that guy that helps us get our program where we all want to see it be.
Another guy, not the senior, but a sophomore, Jimmy Taylor. I said last year that this was a kid that once he had a year in the program and a year in the weight room was going to be a monster for you. Do you see that?
You know, Jimmy, if you look at last year, the last 10 or so ball games, we put him in the starting lineup, and you could see every game with the more experience he got, the more confidence he got, and he continued to grow. And I think he's continued that over the course of the summer. Like we talked about earlier, I think just taking advantage of 8 weeks in the summer to get in the weight room and to get on the court and develop those skills and to gain that confidence more than anything. You see a lot of times with freshmen, when they become sophomores, you see a tremendous jump that they make, and some of that has to do with the fact that they've been through it, one time before, and now that experience. There's no substitute for that, and I think Jimmy's really going to benefit from the experience that he gained last year by playing, but also with the work that he's put in, and I think, when you are willing to put the work in, you feel like you deserve to be successful. And I think Jimmy's been doing that. So I'm excited about the opportunity he has coming up this season.
Last week, before Nick at noon, you got up and thankfully you talked a long time because sometimes the coach, as you knew from the week before, not necessarily exactly on time. But you started talking about the new players on your roster, and it seemed you went forever. And indeed, this is a new-look team, isn't it?
Well, when you look at, Ricky Tarrant and Michael Kessens, who's been in the program for a year, those two guys are new players for us. They didn't play last year, but they got valuable experience in terms of being able to learn our system. And then, 4 freshmen coming in that I think will add a lot of skill, a lot of depth, and like I said earlier, just their approach has been really impressive. They want to learn, they want to listen, they're competitive. They bring a skill level and just an added dimension to our team. So you look at Justin Coleman. We already talked about him at the point guard spot with his versatility. A guy like Devin Mitchell comes in, and he's one of the elite shooters in that class. Coming in, and he's got an ability to put the ball in the hole. And obviously, we all know that that's been an area for us that we need to get better. So having another guy that's able to do that in that freshman class is really good for us. And then Riley Norris is another guy that comes in, and I say this all the time about Riley. He's got a high basketball IQ in terms of his understanding how to impact the game. He's really skilled in terms of his ability to pass the ball, can stretch the defense with the way he shoots the basketball. And I tell you what, he's not the most physically intimidating looking guy. But that's not always the true measure of what a guy's made of. He's the second all-time leading rebounder in the state of Alabama.
Goodness.
So that's saying a lot when you look at some of the great players that have come through our state. So I think he's going to have an opportunity to step in and impact our program. And then Jeff Garrett's a guy that we signed late. Tom, he's one of those guys I think that was made to play this style of play. I think he's maybe a guy that was under the radar. Coming out in terms of recruiting, but I've been really impressed with his potential and his work ethic, and I think he's got a chance to be really, really good for us.
To me, I love to hear all of us about guys that, to me, some of the heydays of this program were when Wimp Sanderson was the head coach, And a lot of times he did it with guys that maybe were under the radar. But he got them, brought them here, helped them develop. And I for one, love to hear that kind of talk.
Yeah, I spent a little time with Wimp this summer, and he talks a lot about, being able to go out and find guys that it means something for them to put that Alabama uniform on. And, C.M. Newton talked a lot about that in terms of, his days and obviously his experience and, being at Alabama and at Vanderbilt and, obviously a legend in the SEC and really a legend in basketball. But talk a lot about that, guys, that it means something for them when they put that uniform on and the pride that they take in representing the university. So I think we've got a lot of guys that feel that are passionate about the opportunity that they have to represent, our program in the University of Alabama.
To me, that's great. And you got somebody new on your coaching staff, Reggie Witherspoon, a pretty good ball player in his younger days, wasn't he?
Well, I didn't know Reggie as a ball player, but I can tell you he's a heck of a coach. The first time I met Reggie, actually I was the head coach of VCU, and he was the head coach of Buffalo. And he was kind enough, we were in the NCAA tournament up in Buffalo. He was kind enough to let us use his facilities. And I always remember just a really good man more than anything else. And, over the years, you watch his teams play and the way they compete and just the discipline they played with. I thought he had an outstanding career. So we were fortunate that he was available. I thought he was a perfect match for our team in terms of being able to blend in with our staff and add value to our staff, but also be able to connect and help our team in terms of what he brings to the table with from an offensive standpoint, his ideas and the things that he'll bring. And then, a guy that's a head coach for 14 years, and just the experience of sitting in that chair and knowing, the ins and outs of what it takes from a coaching standpoint to impact your guys, to maybe get a different perspective in terms of what you're doing both offensively and defensively. So he's been great. I think, we're really fortunate to have someone, of his skill and talent and experience on our staff.
Well, and I was searching through all my papers up here for the schedule. You're going to need every able body you can find because this may be the toughest schedule that we've seen at Alabama in a long, long time.
Well, last year our non-conference schedule was, I think, top 4 or 5 in the country. I think our overall strength of schedule was really good. And, one of the things we talked about at length, Tom, over the years is the need to try to put ourselves in position, to be able to earn an at-large bid should we take care of ourselves at the end of the year. And I think the way you do that is by challenging yourself with who you choose to play. Obviously, the SEC schedule is what it is, but the opportunity to go out and play some very talented and tough teams in the non-conference, we want to do that, and I think for where we want to get the program, I think that's what we have to do. So this schedule will be no different. We've got an exciting start to it with 2 home games before we head out to Kansas City. Actually 3 games before we head out to Kansas City to play in the Hall of Fame Classic. And then you come home and you're playing, the likes of the South Florida, and you go on the road at Wichita State and at Xavier, and come home late December and have UCLA.
UCLA, so, that's a pretty good name.
Yeah, those will be exciting games for us. But obviously every game is important. We're going to take it one step at a time, and I think the thing we're looking forward to now is preparing for next week. And that process of getting ready to go out and compete, and before long, November 14th, we'll be here soon enough.
It'll be here.
But we're excited about next week and getting started.
Well, next week and getting it started, and we'll have more details in the next couple of weeks. But a big event coming up on October 18th, the weekend of Bama's next home football game. I'm looking forward to that too. And I know that men's basketball is going to be there, but the women's basketball program, which is a fun team to watch too, they'll be involved as well.
Christy Kerr and his staff have done an outstanding job, and they're just really good people. Had a chance to watch them play a couple times last year, and really impressed with what she's been able to do in such a short period of time. But I think it'll be a great event for both of our teams.
Yeah.
Around an exciting weekend. On the 18th to be able to get out there and get the exposure, let our fans kind of get a sneak view of who our people are, who our players are, and get a chance to kind of see a little bit. So we hope it'll be a well-attended event, and I guess as we get closer, we'll get more details in terms of what we'll do, but it should be a lot of fun.
Ought to be an awful lot of fun. Well, I'm looking forward to getting you back here, I guess, October 29th or so, when we have our next open week in football. We'll see you then. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me on.
Anthony Grant, I'm delighted he's here with us because he kind of minimized his travel problems yesterday and today, but it wasn't much fun, was it?
We made it through.
You made it through. Anthony Grant, head coach of the Alabama men's basketball team. And go online right now at rolltide.com to buy your basketball tickets, men and women. Coming up next, we're going to talk about men's tennis here at the University of Alabama. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
Warm fleece on a cool day.
I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
I'm a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs.
Wi-Fi everywhere.
More playgrounds. Oh, more ice cream trucks. I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream. When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Hey, there's my son.
Hey, Dad.
What's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Well, it's just sort of.
Hello, Dad.
Susan? Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and maybe see some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance. For the best agents in the business, call Alpha. If you're looking for men's tennis this weekend, you want to be in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And here to talk about it, George Husak, the head coach of the Alabama men's tennis team. George, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Tom.
You were going to bring your family. Where are they?
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple of them got the stomach bug, so I have to give a little shout out to Nina, Greta, Grant, Husak, and my lovely assistant coach, Christina.
Oh, my goodness. I know all about the injury bug with stomach viruses.
Yeah.
Had to miss a game 2 weeks ago. It's no fun.
No, not fun, and certainly not fun 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. when you have three kids doing the, taking turns at the porcelain altar. So
not much fun at all.
No.
All right, let's talk about something that will be fun this weekend. It's called the Four in the Fall. What the heck is it?
Well, it's a tournament that has 12 teams, one of which is ours, and 11 of the teams are bringing 4 players. So it's I kind of borrowed the name from another event, and
it's all right.
And as we all do in this business, I guess. And so what it encompasses is every player. There are going to be 48 players and 24 doubles teams. They're going to have 4 rounds of singles and 3 rounds of doubles, regardless, whether they win or lose in playing. So it's a great opportunity to see a lot of tennis, but also for our players, they're guaranteed 7 matches, and that's a great thing for the fall.
Well, I'm going to try and recite the names of the teams: Alabama, Dartmouth, Florida State, Illinois, Middle Tennessee, Notre Dame, Princeton, Rice, Samford, South Alabama, Tulane, and UAB. So you got them coming here from all over the country.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. We've brought in some different teams that we won't face.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I had said earlier that it's something different for our players. We were in Harvard a couple of weeks ago, and that's different than, and then here we're not just facing people that are just in our region. So it's a good thing, and we're bringing back former head coach Billy Pate
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, to me that's kind of neat. He's at Princeton.
Yes.
And a good guy who did good things for this program. I would assume is doing the same thing at Princeton now. What's the schedule for the weekend?
So every day match play will start at 9 a.m. and we'll start with doubles. Tomorrow we have doubles at 9, then right back second round doubles at 10, and then singles will be in the afternoon. Saturday we'll have 1 round of doubles followed by 2 rounds of singles, and then Sunday just singles, 1 round.
All right, so it's going to be a busy weekend, and it's free of charge at the outdoor stadium, you hope, all weekend.
I hope. I saw the chance for rain for Sunday, which will make for a longer Sunday, but yes, outdoors and hopefully sunny.
It couldn't be better weather than it is right now. But are your guys enjoying working, getting ready for this season?
Absolutely. I mean, they enjoy not wearing T-shirts at practice, but they've really enjoyed it since they got to campus, and it was about a week before school started. And there's a lot of excitement with a new year, and then you start playing, and you haven't gotten into exam period yet, and then they start to get the exams, and but they're still excited. So and now to play at home, we also have it's a parents' weekend, so all of our players, all 10 of them, they all have their parents come in this weekend and have some events over the next couple days to celebrate that.
All right, you're missing a great one from last year in Daniil Preskura. Who steps forward to take his place in the lineup?
Well, I guess you kind of naturally, from a lineup standpoint, I guess you look at your next player, and that was Becker O'Shaughnessy last year. I think for this year, our team captain is Stuart Kenyon. Right now, he's a senior. And it's really, it's his team, I guess, by the C that he wears on his chest. Yeah. But really in the lineup, I think we're going to get contributions from everywhere. We're really deep, 1 to 10. We're very strong. By default, again, you look at Becker, but at the same time, I can see someone like Stewart stepping up. We've got 2 outstanding. Gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Not 2. We've got 4 outstanding freshmen that are in here. 2 with a ton of match play experience, 2 others that have really been a great surprise, and then we've got the 3 returning sophomores, and we also have senior Andrew Goodwin. So I mean, we've got 1 to 10. We're really deep.
Let's talk about a couple of those freshmen, Sam Edwards and Danny Kersnerman.
Yes.
Am I saying that correctly?
You are.
Right. What about them?
Sam Edwards is from Sewanee, Georgia, and he came here, and he's a tall guy, strong, physical guy, and he, to me, is kind of like a golden retriever. I mean, he's so friendly, yet extremely respectful. You throw the ball out there, he's going to go get it, but he's a great listener, and I just see his game really rapidly improving. It already has in a couple of weeks that we've been competing. Danny Kersnerman, he had some spice. He's from Brooklyn. He's been with the National Tennis Training Center up there in Flushing Meadow. He's been down in Boca Raton with the USDA for the last 5-6 years, and so he's got the pedigree, and he's got some sass. He's got the Brooklyn chip, and he brings a lot of passion, and it's great, and that's, I guess he would be one of my foreigners because they're not from the South.
To me, I bet it's been a culture shock for him coming down here.
Yeah, I think it has it. At the same time, it's just a new experience, and he loved it when he decided to come here. He said, he told me, his mom asked him where he should go, and he said, my heart says Bama, and that's the way it is. So really excited to have him, and we've got a couple other freshmen that will not be playing this weekend. They're a little banged up, and I can't wait to get them back into the swing of things.
To me, it's great. The women's program has been rolling along. You've got the men's program going. Do you and Jenny and the 2 teams get together and practice together?
We have similar practice times. We divvy up the courts. We have 12, so I take one side. She takes the other side, but we really do work, I think, a lot together. Our teams interact a lot together. We definitely know how well they're doing. I mean, we were at the game last weekend, and they got the rings at halftime, and we've got the championship banner, and then we've got the SEC trophy in our lounge, and I think it's great. I think both teams can help inspire and certainly impact the other.
Well, it sounds great. The program rolling along, and this weekend, the 4 in the fall. It starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
9 o'clock tomorrow, and we'd love to have everyone out there. And it'd be great tennis. You get some sunshine, and throw out a few Roll Tides.
That's right. One or two, yes.
One or two are fine, yeah.
George, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Appreciate it.
George Husak, head coach of the Alabama men's tennis team, and you can keep up with the tournament this weekend, of course, at RollTide.com. We're going to come back, wrap things up in a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield Sports.
Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6, I make his breakfast. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6, I make his breakfast. At 7, I shower. Every day I wake up
For those caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Psst, it's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I like my job. Just treat me better. Maybe we can do some exercise on occasion? After all, we're in this together.
Don't let your heart quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
This year, firefighters will battle thousands of wildfires around the country in hopes of containing them. But a single ember that escapes can travel more than 1 mile, where it can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Prepare, protect, prevail. Get fire adapted. Learn simple steps you could take now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
The Learfield Sports Directors Cup honors the nation's best overall collegiate athletic program in each division, men's and women's sports. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics, noting the remarkable efforts of student athletes and their institutions. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook. Find us in USA Today, online, and on Twitter at LS Directors Cup. Over 2 decades of excellence, the Learfield Sports Directors Cup.
Be the hero of your tailgate this season. Go to eatatjacks.com to place your order for the ultimate fan fuel. Get your team ready for the big game with Jack's delicious hand-breaded chicken fingers, fried chicken, sides, biscuits, and more. Jack's now a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Now let's talk about Sport Clips. You're a guy, and when you need a haircut, you need it right now. So come on in, because at Sport Clips, you never need an appointment. Visit any of our Alabama stores and ask for the MVP service. Sport Clips, it's good to be a guy. Well, that does it for this edition of Hey Coach and the Nick Saban Show, live from Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. Our thanks to Neil and all the staff here at Bob's. Thanks to Jerry and Jan back in the studio, and to Tom Stipe, our producer, on site. We thank most of all of you for joining us on this Thursday evening. No football on Saturday, but plenty of sports action around. And, of course, a week from Saturday, we'll be on the air from Oxford, Mississippi with Bama and Ole Miss at 11:30 on that Saturday morning. And we'll be right back here at Bob's Victory Grill next Thursday night at 6:30 for Hey Coach and the Nick Saban Show. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Live from Bob's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, this has been Hey Coach, presented by Alpha. For the best agents in the business, call Alpha. Also brought to you by Coke Zero. Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Bud Light, the perfect beer when you're up for whatever. Your Alabama Ford dealers. Alabama Saturdays, built Ford tough. And by Golden Flake, the official